Wow, just steps from the rush of Euston Road and Euston train station, the British Library, cool building, rises like a quiet fortress of knowledge. A modern brick landmark holding more than 170 million items, from ancient manuscripts to the words that shaped entire civilizations. Inside the building opens into wide, calm spaces designed for discovery, crowned with 6-story glass library tower, which I'll show you in a moment. A shimmering column of books once owned by King George III. We spent most of our time in the Treasures Gallery, which is a curated collection of the library's, you might say, greatest hits. This Treasures Gallery is where history feels close enough to touch, although it's behind glass and there are guards in there. In the Treasures Gallery, you stand before the Magna Carta, Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, and even handwritten lyrics by the Beatles. And more importantly, and it had a longer line than the Magna Carta, a script from Monty Python.
You're a loony.
All preserved just inches away from your fingers. And welcome to London. We have arrived. We're near King's Cross. Yes, the King's Cross of Harry Potter. But this right here, we're doing what we like to do, not the most touristy things, in fact, the least touristy things. So we're in the British Library, the main location. There's the food down there. For the bookworms, they don't get enough from eating the books. You can get a pastry as well. Well, this is a stack of books. Now, there's an automated system for retrieving them. That's some sort of robot thing. And I was reading there are 463, not books, miles of books. 463 miles of books here in the British Library. I don't know if that's looking at the spine of the book stacked side by side, or how tall, because some of those books are pretty tall. If you line them up, it'd probably be 1,000 miles if you angle the books differently. So here we are. So we're going to see several things. We're going to see the Magna Carta, and hopefully I will see some Dickens stories, particularly A Christmas Carol. So here, welcome to the British Library. Now, the traditional libraries look like that, but they have 170 million items. So rather than have some interns looking for them, they have this robot that goes up and down, sort of like the Amazon warehouse, I suppose. And it can go collect the book and bring it to you. I don't know how it does that without damaging the book, but there are smarter people than me, so they have figured it out. So there's quite a bit here. Now, we're just in the main lobby section, but it's quite a grand building, as one should. So inside we saw the Magna Carta, and you can just walk up to it and look at it. A very important document from 1200s. But there was a longer line for the Monty Python script. Treasures of the library. And the first section I come upon is music. And here is something by Handel. Wow. And Edgar Elgar. Who do we have up there? Ludwig van Beethoven. This is sketchbook for pastoral. Oh, okay. No problem. How many of us suffered through that? How many of you suffered through Beowulf? Book by Virginia Woolf. We saw Beowulf. This is Andrea Levy. But more importantly, we have the Spanish Inquisition by Monty Python. There it is. Some writings, no photography. Oops. The Magna Carta, the Great Charter, is now one of the most famous documents. And there's nobody gathered around it. There were more people gathered around the Monty Python. This is Arabic mathematics. So think the Phoenicians and the Arabic And they have a quote from ChatGPT in there. That's funny. The Babbage. There's Babbage's computer, one of the first computer persons. And then here we have a piece of software declaring some variables at the top. Then we have some run commands. Hello, Sophie. That's Sophie, one of the first chats from 2006. Here's some works by William Shakespeare. But I'm not convinced that's what he actually looked like. But from 1564 to 1616. Well, that must be when he wrote it, not when he lived. Here he is, 1623. So he lived from 1564 to 1616. Yeah, I guess that's about right. I have a little note of coincidence. I have an ancestor who lived in Stratford-upon-Avon at the same time frame. Thomas Howard? Arundel. Okay.
Arundel cat.
Thomas Howard. So he's like the St. Philip of Howard, same fellow, same family. The Howards. So what does that have to do with this?
That he owned this first.
So we were just in Arundel, and somebody there owned this manuscript. Codex from. Which codex is it? Because I have a codex at home. It used to be the Codex Hammer, which then became the Codex Gates. It seems a lot. My version is a lot bigger. They got gypped. Alan Turing Institute. Now we don't have a badge to get in, but apparently the people behind me just did. So we won't follow anybody in, because that's a bad thing to do. Unfortunately, our office is not open to the public, but on the left here is something interesting. So through those doors are exceptionally smart people. So I'm not getting in, but here's the Enigma Machine and a little photo of Turing himself. Quite brilliant minds. One can pick up a little something to read. Now here's the the entire Jane Austen section, Sense of Sensibility, Northanger Abbey quiz book. And if you want to pick up a little something to read, here's a little something to read. That's quite tiny. Similarly, there's another tiny one here. Jane a day. That's funny. Oh, and even a Jane handbag. Just regular. We have Ostentations, Life Lessons from Jane Austen. We have Jane Austen Poems and Favorite Poems. So I guess there's some she didn't like. Dinner with Jane Austen, menus inspired by her novels and letters. And Dinner with Mr. Darcy, recipes inspired by novels and letters of Jane. Sip and Sensibility. Huh. That's funny. Jane Austen recipe books. Huh. So here's some more Jane Austen stuff, and here's a candle. So this must be Sense and Sensibility instead of Sense and Sensibility. So let's give it a whiff. I'm gonna take it off camera. It smells like Jane Austen. My pun I just did. There's a candle here, and that's Sense and Sensibility. SCENTS. Sense. Carolyn, here's some of this book. What's this say?
Sense and Sensibility.
Right, and there is Sense and Sensibility.
Oh.
And we have a little whole Shakespeare section. Rather odd. There's a philosophy of everything here. Gin, pickles, beer, curry, whiskey, beards. Beards are philosophical? To beard or not to beard? And Shakespeare was quite the bard. So my fantasy is a fantasy exhibit here. My fantasy is that you click like and subscribe. Because if you don't, you might be a loony. So thanks for tagging along on our London trip. I have a couple more items that we did in London that I'm going to share because they seem very interesting and not the usual thing people do. So stay tuned.